Alright guys, so I got this pallet grapple kit from Titan Attachments. It's 48-inch pallet forks with a grapple on top, so you can pull into brush, you can pull into logs, you can grab them, pick them up, they're not rolling off the front. You can move pallets with them. We're going to see how they work, but I've been looking for a set of pallet forks for a long time. You get on Facebook Marketplace, you get on Craigslist, everybody wants $600 or $700 for a set of pallet forks used. And I got this whole kit with the pallet forks, 48-inch forks, and the grapple, obviously hydraulic grapple. It was like $1,200 shipped to your door. So I figured for the extra, I mean, if I would have bought new pallet forks, I would have paid probably $800. So I figured $400 difference to have the grapple on top. I said, all right, I'm going to do it. I've wanted a grapple to move stuff around with for a long time. I've got a sawmill now. I'm going to do another video on that. It's HM122 from Woodland Mills. I haven't even used it yet because I've had no really good way to load logs, and it's been hunting season. I've been busy. Projects in here, hunting, just doing other stuff. So I want to get this together. I can easily put logs on. Take them off, I can move piles of lumber around after I get it sawn. So this has been a long time coming. So, like I said, I'll let this kind of thaw out here. It's been sitting outside for 2 days. Brought this in. I've got a third function valve kit coming from Everything Attachments. That was like $800, but I figured for the $2 grand, now I got pallet forks, third function valve so I can run hydraulics off the front of my tractor, and I've got the grapple. So basically 3 things. I'm going to take you along for the installation of the third function valve. Pallet forks, maybe, I don't know, there's probably not much to them at all. I'm guessing you just pop the forks on and they're together. So we'll see what that entails, but I'll break everything down. Not tonight, I'm going to go in and make some dinner here in a few minutes, but yeah, I'm excited. I don't think I've done a video on my Kubota yet, but after I get the third function valve kit installed, I'll do a video on the 6040. It's like a 65 horse rated tractor, 59 or 60 PTO horse. So I've been really happy with it. Maybe 1 or 2 things that I would like to see change, but overall it's been a really nice machine so far. I just started it in, like I said, like 5-degree weather. It sits in the cold storage part of the barn here, and it fired right up, no problem. It turned over like twice and just popped right over. So I'm very happy with it. So I'll do a video on that, and then once we get the forks together, I'll do a video on the sawmill too. So lots of stuff coming, but first things first, third function valve and the grapple forks here. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy. Alright, so my third function valve is here. Grapple forks have thawed out. You can actually get a little bit better idea of what they look like. Looks like you gotta hook the cylinder up. Get the pin pulled out of it. And there's the forks there, sitting on a pallet. So let's see what's in this box. So I ordered it just for my loader, Kubota LA 1153 loader. So I'm guessing they cut all the hoses to the right length. So there's your controller. That would mount on your loader joystick. So I think that just screws right on. It's got some set screws in there. And then I had to figure out what all the, I'm guessing just open and close. Wiring harness. So here is
valve itself. It looks easy enough to hook up. Got your hoses here. This would mount to the very front of your loader somewhere. Male and female. Okay, cool. Looks like everything's here. Guess I'll start reading the directions and figure out what I need to do. So the first thing it says to do is remove these two bolts. They'll hold the bracket on for your quick connects that run your loader, your 4 hoses there. So I'm gonna start by doing that. So what it's asking me to do is take this valve and the bracket that it's attached to and mount it basically on the other side of your loader frame using those same 2 bolts. So it'll sit just about like that. There's the front of the tractor. There's the top where your 2 ports will plug in for the hoses, and I'm going to do that next. Alright, got the bolts back in that. And that's what that looks like. It's right in there. Use factory bolts, factory mounting, so I like that. Let's see what's next. So now it wants me to remove the shield for the loader valve. So I'm going to remove that. Then I think we get into our Power Beyond hose from there, which will give us constant power to the front hydraulics through this new valve. Alright, so I got that off. And that thing is seriously twisted, so I'm going to see if I can fix that up while I got it off. But there's your loader valve. So, see which one I got to tie into now. Alright, so here's the loader valve. Here's where your cables come in. It's saying take off your Power Beyond hose, not here at the valve, but back at this block. So I'm going to disconnect it there. Also said it's color coded green. So you got green, red, can't see it, but this one up here is yellow. I don't know, that one's blue or something, but I'm going to take that fitting off there, and then it says to put on, there's 2 different possible sizes it could be, so I might need an adapter. So I'm going to get that off and see what size. Got some cardboard on the floor here, so don't make a huge mess, but I'm going to get that off and see what I got to do next. Okay, so here's my Power Beyond hose. Detached it from this block back here, and then the directions say if this is a number 10 fitting, use this adapter, which I guess is number 10 to number 8, female to male. So mine is number 10, so I put that in. Now it's saying connect this 24-inch hose and connect this hose to my new third function valve body there, to the P port. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so I got the adapter on, got my 24-inch hose on. Now it wants me to snake this back up through and connect this side to the P port of the third function valve there, which is on the side close to the tractor. So I'm going to do that. Alright, so I got that hose connected to that left side. Just kind of fished it up through there. And now it's saying connect the 48-inch hose, which is including the kit, from the T side port down and back to the back to this block that I just disconnected that factory hose from. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, so there it is. Connected, this is number 8 end. Connected that to the valve there, and then ran it all the way down and reconnected the other end to my block here. Alright, so next thing is connect the hoses that run all the way to the front of your loader to the top of this valve. You got male and female egg style couplers here. So I'm going to pop those in. I'm going to run them down through this bracket here that the other loader hoses are running through. And I'm going to figure out where I want to mount the bracket that has the skid steer style couplers on. So I got to mount that up here somewhere, and I'll figure that out in a minute. But I'm probably going to pull this stuff up, set it there somewhere, and then bring the loader down a little bit so I can actually work at a comfortable height. I'll plug these in and then we'll do that. So it doesn't say anything about it in the directions that I saw, but I noticed they got these little clamps, and I'm thinking they go on these two brackets here to hold the hoses down the loader arm here. So I'm going to mount those. Then I'm going to figure out how I want to mount this. I don't know if I'm going to drill and tap something on the loader frame or what I'm going to do yet, but we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so they don't really tell you where they want you to mount this thing, but I'm looking at it and it looks like it's built for some sort of factory mounting position, and everything else has been really good about mounting in factory position. So finally I figured out it must go right here. It's got that round shape cut out in the middle. Bolt holes line up perfectly. So I'm going to remove those 2 bolts, mount it, see what it looks like. Alright, so that's done. Looks a little goofy because all the slack's up here. Might readjust those clamps along the loader arm. Put some of the slack back there where the loader hoses go down the arm, but looks pretty good. So now I need to mount this to the joystick using these 2 set screws. This plug here actually plugs into the new 3rd function valve, which not exactly, oh, right there. So I'm going to do that, figure out a nice way to route it, probably under this mat, or actually probably right under the tractor platform, and mount it to the bottom of the platform somehow, just to keep it from getting rubbed on or stepped on under that mat there. It'll probably wear it out eventually. So I'm going to pop that knob off there and mount this. So no, I won't be reusing that shift knob, but I got it off. Tried pipe wrench, tried heating it up, finally got the angle grinder with the cutoff wheel on it. Anyway, got this mounted. That's where I'm going to stop for the night. I'm not sure if I'm going to run it down through here, down under the floorboard, and mount it with some clamps somehow. It's got to come up to here. I think there's plenty of wire there. But I'm going to think about that overnight, and I'm going to go inside and have something to eat. Call it a night. Alright, so I kinda, next day here, but I got this mounted. Put the rocker switch in the front. I don't know, I can always change that. but just running the cable down the joystick handle here. There's a rubber grommet that was in here. Put a hole in that. I'm gonna fish it down through here, down through this hole that goes through the platform. I'm gonna run it on the inside of the fender here, and then on the inside of the platform here, and then right up one of these hoses and into my plug. I'll coil up any extra somewhere where you aren't going to see it. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Ran it right down that joystick handle, through that rubber grommet, down through this hole. There was a hard line, hydraulic line right here that I just zip tied it right to that. That won't be moving, it's static. And then ran it up this new hydraulic line and right into the side of the new valve. So now the only thing left to do is connect this to power. They did give me a fuse, inline fuse. So I'm gonna wire that in, use some heat shrink and wire it in somewhere. And then I gotta figure out where I wanna tap into some sort of hot wire. I might just run it right up to the battery. I don't see why you can't. So I'm gonna figure out how I want to run that, and then this will be done. Alright, so what I ended up doing is I ran this power wire down these wire looms here underneath the tractor, and then there ended up being a rubber grommet. Let's see if I can get it in view. It's a pretty bad view, but it's right there. Let's see if I can get it from the front. Alright, that's better. So there's a rubber grommet there. You can't see that red wire, but it is on the back side of that wire loom going up through there. And that comes out right behind the battery. So, show you what I did up there. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to wire that fuse right here. Going to trim it down, use some heat shrink on both sides. That'll be right here. If it does ever blow, I can get to it really easily. But up here, I'm just going to put just a connector on there so I can go on this bolt here that's running to the winch and heat shrink everything up there. I like to heat shrink everything, especially on stuff that's going to be outside. You're going to be pressure washing it. If it was like a car stereo, I probably wouldn't worry about it, but I'm going to do that, and then this will be done. We can test it out. So that's it. Got my fuse all wired in, heat shrink on both sides. It's wired into power, so it's working. Obviously I won't be able to tell how well it works until I get the grapple hooked up, but overall I'm really impressed with the kit. Set you guys down here. They call it a universal kit, but in all honesty it was like bolt-on, I would consider, for this tractor. You got to figure out where to run a couple wires and hoses, and that's probably personal preference, but overall the hoses were cut to exactly the right length from my loader, which you do order it specifically for your loader, so that makes sense, but the directions were exactly for my loader. Fit and finish, it seems really, really nice. Extremely easy to follow. I probably have a total of 2.5 hours into installing this thing, and most of that was figuring out exactly where I want to route everything and make it look nice. So there's nothing difficult about it whatsoever. A little bit on the high side, I guess, in price, but I don't know what else to compare it to. There really was no other kits out there. There was a couple that were completely universal, not
tractor specific at all. They were like $550. This one was, I think, like $750 or $800. So it had really good reviews, and I figured I'd give it a shot. But I'm gonna get the grapple together. I'm gonna do a video on that, and then once I get that all together, hook up to it and see how these new remote hydraulics work on the front of this thing. So pretty excited. I've always wanted a grapple for the front of my tractor, and now I've got one. So I'm gonna start tearing that skid apart, make a different video about that, and we'll see you on that one.